Mary Augusta, or Gusty Wallihan, was born on February 22, 1837, in the small town of Oak Creek, Wisconsin. She would go on to be a pioneer in the world of wildlife photography. She wrote of her childhood, "My father was a fine shot, could hit partridge, ruffed grouse, or squirrel from the top of a tall maple tree, taking the head off at every shot with the muzzle-loading rifle he used. Many a time I sat by his side, watching him mold the round bullets, thinking them so pretty and bright as they rolled into the box that caught them." Even though her father hunted, Gusty never went hunting with him. Gusty's family eventually moved to Salt Lake City, Utah, where in the early 1880s both of her parents died and she lost her first husband either through death or divorce. In 1882, Augusta and her brother Thomas moved to Lily Park, Colorado. Thomas was looking for land to build a cattle ranch. It was there that Gusty met the man who would become her second husband, Alan G. Wallihan. He was 22 years younger than her. Alan was also from Wisconsin. He and Gusty had a lot in common and became good friends. After being snowed in together during the winter of 1884 to 1885, the pair agreed that the only way to maintain their honor was to get married. So when the weather broke in April, they headed to Rawlins, Wyoming, and tied the knot. After their marriage, they settled into a log cabin in Lay, Wyoming. They opened their home as a roadhouse. Alan served as the postmaster for Lay, and they also maintained a weather station and kept weather records for years. The Wallihans were different from most homesteaders. They didn't do much farming and kept only one milk cow and a few chickens. The Wallihans were more interested in hunting and viewing the abundant wildlife around their home. Alan wanted Gusty to participate in all the outdoor activities. "My brother and Mr. Wallihan wanted me to learn to shoot," Gusty wrote. "We were miles from any house, alone in the mountains. I had fired a revolver a few times and a gun once. The men laid plans for me to use our Parker shotgun on cottontail rabbits. When I made my first attempt, I could not hold the shotgun out at arm's length, so I learned to shoot from rest. After a short time, I tried a shot offhand at some geese flying over and killed one at 60 yards and about 75 feet high, which surprised and pleased my brother, Mr. W., and myself as well. My first deer I got next spring, shooting him in the neck, dropping him." Even as an outdoors woman, Gusty maintained the appearance of an elegant lady, keeping her hair curled and wearing beautiful dresses every day. She became a very good shot, and once took 2 mule deer with a single bullet. One day, while out on a hunt, Gusty was crouched in a clump of sagebrush. She was watching ants carry away crumbs from her lunch and didn't notice a herd of approaching mule deer until they were only a few feet from her. "What a wonderful picture," she thought. "If only it were possible to take it with a camera." On the way back to the house, she thought about it some more and came up with the idea that she could photograph wild animals with the aid of a blind. Alan, who had once been a professional photographer, instantly recognized the merit in his wife's idea. Soon after that, Gusty traded a pair of beaded deerskin gloves she had made to a young clergyman who was staying in their home in exchange for his camera. The couple began their pursuit of photographing all kinds of wild game. They bought more cameras and tripods, which they carefully set up and tended along game trails. They camped, cooked, packed, and trailed and fought wind and weather for over 10 adventurous years, resulting in the publication of 2 books, Hoofs, Claws, and Antlers of the Rocky Mountains in 1894, and Camera Shots at Big Game in 1901. These publications practically marked the beginning of the art of wildlife photography, and Theodore Roosevelt wrote introductions for both volumes. The Wallihans were hailed with respect by zoologists and artists alike. In 1900, the couple was invited to display their photographs at the Paris World Exposition and at the St. Louis World's Fair in 1904. The Wallihans both became voices for conservation and game management. Writing for sportsmen's magazines and local newspapers, they did their best to call the nation's attention to the damage that herds of deer and elk were suffering due to overhunting for the commercial market. "I presume you are wondering how the deer are in Root County by this time," Gusty wrote for Outdoor Life magazine. I can tell you they are being hunted more than ever, and thousands are being slaughtered. I have been told that 4 large wagons have been loaded to go to Snake River, each wagon being drawn by 4 horses. This only gives an idea of what is going on. When men having plenty of cattle turn out to kill 4-horse wagon loads of deer to take out of the country, it is time to call a halt. We have but a few years left of deer hunting in Colorado. That is very evident. Augusta Wallihan suffered a stroke in 1922 and died at her home a few months later. Both her and Alan are buried on a hill overlooking the land and open spaces they loved. Their legacy still lives on in the world of wildlife photography and documentaries. I hope you enjoyed this story. If you did, check out more like it at theweeklyholler.com and sign up for the free email newsletter. You can also find The Weekly Holler on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter.